Oh my God. What the heck? What the actual heck is going on? We're at 100 blessed episodes, you guys. 100 days in the row. In the row. Okay, off to a great start, Heidi. Good job. You can clearly tell your speaking has gotten better over 100 days. But seriously, 100 days in a row. That's crazy town. Like, what the hell? Like, I can't even right now. I have been thinking a lot about this episode, and there's a couple things that I want to do, but mainly I want to keep it short and sweet, you guys. I don't want it to be too long, but, who knows, it probably will be. But the main reason why I don't want it to be too long is because I'm running out of storage space on my computer every single day, and it's a constant struggle because my computer has the processor of like a Tamagotchi, and like I don't know what to do. I think it's just time to get a new computer. For real, like I think it's time today. Like my Zoom lessons crashed and I was like, what the hell? And I had to do Zoom on my phone, which is not ideal. And yeah, she's just getting real slow. So I don't really know what to do. There's literally 0 things stored on this device. I kid you not. I clean it out every single day. I put everything that I need on a flash drive. I clear out absolutely everything. I empty that young recycle bin. Okay? It's empty. Don't be like, oh, Heidi, you have to delete your downloads folder. Shut your mouth. It's not full. It's spotless. The whole thing is. And I delete a bunch of apps. Like, I don't know what. You go into that storage thing on your computer and it's like, manage storage. I'm like, cool, I'm trying. And they're like, yeah, you have like 2 megabytes left. And you're like, why? I have nothing on here. And then meanwhile, they like make it so you can't delete like Xbox Live and like Xbox things and Game Center console, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, if I tried to launch Xbox from this calculator of a computer, the thing would ignite. Okay? Like, I don't even know why it's on there and why I can't delete it. Like, sometimes I wish I was a hacker so that I could just like override these things and just delete the hell out of them, but I know they're in the computer. I don't know. Why am I talking about computers? This is not how I want to spend my 100th podcast. Oh my god. So yeah, guys, 100 days. If you've been with me here on this hashtag journey for 100 days, bless your little heart, because I mean, for me, it's kind of spooky, kind of surreal. I don't know. This has been quite a roller coaster. Like, I can't really even describe it. 100 days ago, when I started this podcast, I don't even really know who that person was. Like, I don't think I've changed a lot, but I've changed significantly from then because I have had to, because I've been, dealing with, let's just be real about it. I've been dealing with a horrible, horrible breakup. And, I haven't really spoken out about this on my podcast because I feel it's not very fair. Because the other half of this breakup doesn't have any say in it, and I don't have, like, consent to share all of the details, and I don't necessarily want to share all of the details, but, I mean, you can put 2 and 2 together. It was horrible, and it still is horrible, and every single day I'm still dealing with it, because, that level of betrayal and pain that someone who you trusted and you thought was going to be your person, that's never going to be not painful. So there's been quite a bit of forced change in the past 100 days, and I don't think that's a bad thing, necessarily. The breakup itself, horrible, absolutely devastating, would not recommend. And I know I make jokes about it all the time, but I am dead serious, 100 days ago, it was not the same as today. And I think one of the main reasons why I created this podcast is so that I actively was expelling my daily baggage, I guess, like my daily griefs, my daily things. I would speak to this person, my ex now, I would speak to them every day. Of course, that's what happens when you're with someone for 4 years. And now, of course, he, hasn't spoken to me and decided to just cut it off cold turkey. Haven't spoken to this person in months. And that can mess you up mentally if you don't keep expressing yourself. And I mean that in such a profound way, because this podcast has helped me. I'm going to start crying. This podcast has helped me realize that I can talk to myself, and that's okay. I can be my own person in times like this. And I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, I don't need anybody else. I'm never going to be with someone again, blah, blah, blah. Because, that's not how I feel. I do want to be, in a relationship at one point. I don't necessarily know what that's going to look like. And I'm not trying to prescribe anything for my future. But, I'm not trying to be alone forever. But when I am, like now, in a relationship sense and physically, I am here and my family's far away from me. A lot of my friends aren't close to me, During these times of being alone, it's been really important for me to understand that I am all right to be by myself. And I always was. But the fear of not knowing if I was or not was something that really held me back and gave me a lot of anxiety. And I'm still not 100% on board with that. It's still, it's only been 100 days, you guys. It's only been a couple months since I started this podcast. It's been a couple more months since this whole breakup has happened, which really catapulted me into the podcast. But, long story short, if you're new here and this is your first episode, this is why I created this, so that I could have some sort of creative outlet that I have never explored before, and that I had something new that I could come to every single day, and something different, something that wasn't related to my my other sources of creation, like singing and music. I mean, it is kind of, I talk about music all the time because it's part of me, but I really created this podcast just so that I could talk every day. Because I am the kind of person who needs to talk through things. I don't know why, but I always have been that kind of person, and I'm not looking for, all the time, I'm not looking for advice. I'm not looking for guidance or solutions. I just need to talk. And oh my God, do I need some good quality conversation from time to time. Nothing. I hate having small talk with people that I know I can have better conversations with. It's if you're a stranger or if we're just acquaintances, obviously I'm not going to jump into existential conversations with you, but that's why I have my friends on this podcast, because I know that we can all, everybody's down to get down. You know, we're down to the ground here on the Paper Soprano. And people are ready to chat. And so am I. And that's a magical thing, okay? Like, I don't know who was, like, in denial about that. Or, like, I think it's mostly, like, the male population. I don't know why. Not trying to generalize. So, just like in my experience, a lot of the straight white men in my life are not into conversation. And I think that's a huge bummer, because for me, that's like part of my love language, like how I express myself and how I find life interesting, is hearing people interact with the world and hearing their perspectives. And, you know, when you create sentences and when you're thinking about things and when you're expressing your ideas, that's art, you know? Like, that's beautiful. That's creating. Like, I don't know. I just, when it's meaningful, like, I don't necessarily mean all talk shows and all podcasts are art. But if you intend it to be, or even if you don't, sometimes it is, you know? I don't really know. If anybody out there gets what I'm saying, let me know, because I think that having this mode of creation for me has opened my eyes to other forms of creation, like my own singing has changed and my own listening has changed. And I think that's incredible. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this podcast. And I'm grateful for anybody who listened even for like a minute. Because I know attention spans are short these days, which is totally fine. I'm the same exact way. I am literally the same way. And I don't listen to these podcasts. Of course not. That would be strange. I don't listen to my own stuff. Like, I will if I'm, like, posting it or something and it plays for a couple minutes, but I never have listened all the way through to an episode. So I don't blame you if you've never listened all the way through, or if you put this on in the background. I appreciate that so much. And the main reason why I do is because I do that with other podcasts. I love putting the podcasts on while I'm doing the dishes, or while I'm doing schoolwork, or anything, you know, driving. Oh my God, when I drove to Buffalo for 8 hours in the car, it was Podcast Central, dude. Ow. I just hit my tooth with this beer bottle. And if you're like, oh, Heidi, a beverage? To that I say, yes, ma'am. Because one, it's the 100th episode. I was going to get champagne, but I just don't care. Like, I didn't want it. And also it's Friday night. So look at us, you guys. Closing this up on a nice Friday, my favorite day of the week, because you have 2 sleeps until you have 1 sleep, in which the next day is Monday. So yeah, I just want to basically say in this episode, before I get too much into what I want to do next, and I'll say this all again, trust me, but I can't tell you enough how much people reaching out to me and, you know, talking to me about the podcast, or, you know, being guests, all my guests that I've had on the podcast, thank you so much for having a chat. Like, I can't tell you how much it means to me. And I thought it would be very nice and interesting to listen to a little bit of the very first episode. So, without further damn ado, let's see what it is here, you guys. I'm a little nervous. I don't know. Like I said before, I do not listen to these. I have not listened to any of them, and I'm a little bit anxious about hearing what the first one's going to sound like. The first episode is entitled Who Do I Think I Am? And I've had such a fun time coming up with these titles. I feel like I'm writing little papers. Like, I don't know. Titles are so much fun, let's be honest. Okay, let's get into it. So let's see what happens here. Hello? Oh, wait, hold on. We have to hear this.
Hello? Okay, so...
Wait, did I not say hello?
Hello?
I didn't, you guys!
So
I just said hello.
We're just doing it. We're out here, we're doing it. I've been wanting for a very long time to start a podcast, and...
Yes, you have, girl.
Who knows what this is actually going to sound like, or who the heck is going to even listen to it. But here we are. We're out here doing it. I can't even really express how many times I've tried to get myself to sit down and actually record. And it's very intimidating. I feel like
it was.
There's a lot of pressure on creative people to do things during this time.
I'm going to pause it here because this is so strange. Like, what a weird thing I'm doing right now. Like, just sitting alone here, making a podcast and also listening to my own podcast. This is the weirdest thing I think I've ever done to date. But, besides that, I think that what a weird energy, you know, just like compare the energy you're hearing right now to this like nervous ass like energy that's like, oh, I tried to record this so many times, I'm so nervous and there's so much pressure on me and blah blah blah. Like, if anything, through this podcast I've been trying to erase that feeling of like feeling that imaginary pressure that comes with creating things. There really is no pressure. You can do whatever you want. And it's hard to acknowledge that. I still feel it. That's why this podcast is called Paper Soprano. Because I feel like everybody else is like, you know, a real girl. They're all like real dolls walking around. And I'm like the paper one that's not real. And you could literally crumple me up and throw me out immediately and be like, yeah, this is not real. Like, you're like a paper doll. Like, that's what I see in my mind when I think of Paper Soprano. I think of, like, those cutouts. Those little paper cutouts of all those people in a line. And that's the inspiration for the title of this thing is really just deeply embedded imposter syndrome. So, it's just really interesting to hear myself say all that. So let's keep going.
COVID time, and yeah, you know, here we are though. We're out here doing it, and
yeah.
It is what it is, you guys.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, I just kind of started talking. You don't even know who I am, or maybe you do. I hope you do. But if you don't know me,
I'm gonna fast forward through this stuff because if you don't know who I am by now, get a grip, okay? Just, I don't know. Look me up on Facebook or something. Let's see what happens at 12 minutes in.
I do like facets of everything that I hear. Some parts of it, like I sing Baroque, I sing jazz, I sing obviously opera and classical music, but I'm also into contemporary music and pop music and.
She's a multifaceted queen.
All that good, you know. It's
Ew.
It's really important, I think, to have a wide mindset. Oh yes, my fridge just turned off.
Ugh. Classic things we're talking about here. I'm still mostly I'm focusing on this energy. I don't know what it is, but I can just tell. I feel like in that whole sentence talking about like what I do, like trying to explain myself, like I was trying so hard to come across very specifically. And in my life, I pretty much do that too. You know, I try and present myself in a very acceptable way in which it's marketable and we want to hire me and, it's going to be good and I'm going to, please everybody. And that is still a huge part of me. I don't know if that will ever go away. I'm trying to think about if if I can predict if it will. But I acknowledge that that's a huge part of my personality and that it holds me back from truly doing the things that I know deep down I want to do. So that's a weird thing. This is very strange. I fast forwarded a bunch more. Let's see. Here's 20 minutes in.
Session anyway. Regular recording session, you'd have somebody working on the technology, and you would just you'd be the talent, and you'd come in and you'd have your Starbucks, and you'd walk in and you'd do a couple takes, and then they would be like, "Thank you so much, amazing," and you would leave. And you'd be like, "Oh yes, I do recordings all the time. Oh, it's amazing."
Wow,
but, like, no,
so
dude.
Funny. Oh my god. LOL, Heidi. You're such a character. Ooh, I am judging myself because I feel insecure about listening to myself because it's a really weird thing and I feel like it's a very meta experience, but I'm going to try not to judge myself so harshly because it's exactly what I'm talking about right now. But yeah, right there, I was definitely talking about recording. I had just come off of recording for opera scenes and I'm right now just embarking on another recording for a whole ass opera. So that's kind of strange. I'm a little bit nervous, but it's gonna be good. I'm just trying to keep an open mind about it, but that's what that's talking about there. Let's keep going. I'm gonna go right to the end. We're a minute from the end here. What do we got, Heidi? What is in the end of the very first episode of this pod?
For you, I can just tell. I can just tell. Okay? I can just tell. So, I hope you have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening.
Oh, look at this.
Let me know if you have any suggestions for the podcast. If you want to tell me anything, feel free, girl. I am sitting here in my apartment in quarantine. I'm not quarantined right now, but I'm just hanging out,
We are.
So
we're really just hanging out.
And yeah, I can't wait to hear from you guys. Feel free to give this video a like. I'm probably going to post this on YouTube, but if I don't...
Oh my god, this is so weird.
Feel free to support it in other ways.
I'm literally like... I feel like I don't know, I feel very proud in a way. Like, and I don't necessarily always feel that way. So I don't want to come off as like, trying to boast or anything, but I do feel proud because I feel like it's come such a long way, and by such a long way I don't mean the quality has improved at all, because it hasn't. But I feel as though my quality of life has improved, and it's mainly because of this podcast. And to be quite honest, I am moving on from this right now just because you have to let things simmer for a while, and it's going to be very strange for me not to record this podcast every day because I've been doing it for the past 100 days, girl. So it's going to be very weird. But I don't know, other things are picking up, and I think it's kind of the perfect timing. I don't know. I think it's right for me to take a break. So I hope no one's like upset. I don't think any of my 12 listeners are going to be upset. But I want to assure you that I do plan on revisiting this podcast. I don't know how long I will be gone, but I really do appreciate your understanding and your patience, and I hope that when I come back, and if it's in a different form, that I hope that you can get down with that too, and that it works for you and that you enjoy it, because honestly, I hope to enjoy it as well, and I hope that we can have like a nice little thing together like this. All right, you guys. I hope that this has been something for you all, like it's been something for me. And if anything, I hope that this has shown you that you can do it. Okay? Like, whatever you're going through right now, because everybody's got something. Every single person. Whatever you're going through right now is going to be all right. And I know it doesn't necessarily always seem that way, but I don't know. I always get this way when I'm talking about something sentimental, like I'm either an emotional mess or I don't express anything and like an hour later it's all going to hit me, like it'll be delayed. So, I'm kind of glad that I'm not in tears right now, because I want to really express to you that I think you're going to be fine. You're going to be great. You're going to be more than fine. And whatever you're experiencing right now, whether it's in relationship to COVID, whether it's a different thing, completely unrelated, whether it's something with your family or with your friends or your job, maybe you're just feeling extra lost because of all of this unpredictable madness that we've been swimming in for a year. I want you to know that you just have to trust that it's going to be okay. And for me, it shows itself, the okayness of the world shows itself in the weirdest places. Like, I've been enjoying myself more. I've been singing in the car, being silly with myself. Like, I've been laughing. I've been hanging out with my friends. I've been going to the gym. I've I've changed so many aspects of my life. And it takes time to see those changes. It takes more than 100 days, but I'm starting to see. And I think that it's really important to acknowledge that, and really important to trust time, because when you're in the thick of it, it's not always just apparent to you. But over time, you will start forgetting in a good way. You'll start having too many other things going on, or you'll start adding things to your life that push those other things out in a good way. And, you're not going to forget 100%, never. You never will, but you're going to forget the moments where you will fixate on it, and you're going to forget all of the time that you spent crying. And you're going to forget all of the pain. And then you're going to forget it so much that you might just do it all over again with somebody else, if we're talking about a relationship, so that's pretty far out, because I had a moment, and I don't necessarily know if this is like cool to share here, but like I had a moment the other day where I was scrolling through random TikToks on Instagram. You know how they live there now. And something very strange happened to me, which hasn't happened to me in many years, where I came across somebody's like comedy profile, and it was so surreal to see another person with almost the exact same sense of humor as I have currently. It was strange, and I was like watching these videos, and I was like, oh my god, like this is I get it. I just get it so much. I understand this sense of humor is mine. Like, I could relate so easily to this person. And in my head, it was kind of like a weird acceptance of, okay, there's definitely other people out there who you can relate to, you know? And I couldn't even tell you who this person is. Don't know their name. Did not pursue them, obviously. But, it was crazy. It was nuts. There was a flicker of like, I could move on. And for me, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because I couldn't even think the words moving on 100 days ago. So, that being said, I don't want to end this on a sad note, you guys. Oh, God. Okay, so here's the thing. I've been talking for a half hour, and I'm so grateful to all of you. It's very surreal that it's 100 episodes, and I'm a little bit sad about it, but I'm very happy in a lot of ways, because I'm happy that all of you are here. I'm happy that this became a thing. It's weird to think about that first episode. I get spooked thinking about it. Not gonna lie, didn't really have a fun time listening to it. It felt very strange. So, I probably won't be listening to these episodes. Maybe I will in like 10 years or something. But if you feel the need to listen to them again, please do. I appreciate you being here and being patient for the next creative thing that comes out of this. I don't know. I don't think it's over though. So if you're a little bit upset about something that you might have been listening to every day not being there anymore, it will return in some way. I can pretty much guarantee that. I don't know when or how or what, whom, with whom, but it'll be around. I'll be here. So also, if you want to just have a regular old chat, girl, you can always call me, okay? You know, it ain't no thing. I'm here sitting like pretty much all the time. You know, I can always have a real chat on the pod with any of you. So I think we should leave it on that. If at any time you need to have a chat and we're not currently doing the podcast, if you're listening to this in the future and perhaps we've already evolved as a podcast, then, you know, there it is. But in the meantime, you can always chat me up. I'm here. You can always leave a comment. I'll see it. And I just want to say thank you very much for listening. Ew. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. You all mean very much to me, and I appreciate you. So thank you. I wouldn't have any reason to post this if I didn't think that somebody might listen to it, because I have to put myself under those parameters to get myself out of the mindset that I have to be perfect when someone else is listening. So, thank you for being part of this, for being a huge part of this. Because I do feel like I'm talking to you when I'm doing this. Whoever's listening, like, obviously I can't see you or know when someone listens specifically, but I do feel like I'm talking to people because people have reached out to me and said, you know, I listen to it. So I think about all of you and I appreciate all of you. And if you want to support the podcast, go ahead. But mainly, I hope that you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night whenever you happen to be listening to this. And I really do Love you, mean it. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Okay? All right. Bye.